Hey, hi, hello. This is As Good As You here, and I'm doing as good as you. Um, I haven't posted in a while. Haven't made videos in a while. I don't know. Life kind of just slipped away. Extremely unmotivated. Um, but there have been many changes. So this video is just like about how I got diagnosed with BPD, borderline personality disorder. Uh, I kind of got a nose piercing. Oh my gosh, my mom. Oh god. My mom's probably gonna watch this video and then start texting me. You got a nose piercing? Oh. But anyways, I did it myself. Anyways, um sorry my mind draws blanks a lot. But anyways, how I got diagnosed with BPD. So I remember that day. Like, and for okay, yeah, I remember that day. So this whole situation happened where I was texting my friend and I said something that offended offended him, and he just said he didn't want to talk to me anymore. And like, I didn't, when I said it, I didn't mean to, I didn't purposely mean to offend them. It just came off that way to them. But still, they didn't want to talk to me afterwards. And that like really, really like triggered me. And I was like crying. Well, I was trying to like hold in my tears and whatever because I was sitting in the living room and my dad is like on the other couch. So I didn't want to cry in front of him. And then I had also been trying to look for psychiatrists. Yeah, so I can get my medications since my insurance had changed. So I had been looking, well, not insurance, but insurance counties, whatever. But so I'd been looking for psychiatrists and I got like referred to these two places, and both the places rejected me because of where I live. And it's really dumb because their like their computer uh, data or whatever said that I wasn't in the right county even though I was in the correct county. So I don't know, it was dumb. But I was just like already overwhelmed at that point. And by the second time I had gotten rejected, because like I called and then got rejected. And then they referred me to this other place. So I called them and I get rejected again. And then afterwards, I just start bursting into tears, like uncontrollable sobbing. I'm like, yeah, it might seem like an overreaction. I know people say, like, oh, like, those are such minor things. Why get so upset over it? I get upset. I can get upset over almost anything. But anyways, and people say like, "Oh, well, if someone doesn't want to talk to me, if someone doesn't want to be my friend, then that's their loss." I don't view it like that. I wish I could think of it like that. No, I just think of it as like here we go, I'm being abandoned again. Just my whole life, I feel like I've been abandoned by people. No one really ever cares to stick around. But, anyways, so after that, I took a bunch of like Wellbutrin, bupropion, the medication, and like I wasn't trying to overdose or anything. It was just that since bupropion is a smoking it's supposed to help you stop smoking. I was taking it as an antidepressant, but yeah, and so I thought like, well, if it makes you feel good enough to not need a cigarette, then I figure then this should make me feel good. And it did make me feel good. You know, I took like two and I felt good for like 30 minutes and then it would wear off. Then I take another two and another two and another two and another two. And then by like, that was like early in the morning kind of. And then by like 4 p.m., I'm just having all of these horrible like overdose symptoms basically. Like I felt like I'd be standing and it felt like I was gonna pass out. My eyes were like doing like dilating or whatever, just like big and small and big and small, and it was just really uncomfortable and scary, and my neck hurt, and I just felt like really scared and horrible. Like I thought like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna die. So I told my dad what I had done and that I needed to go to the hospital. So he took me to the hospital in the emergency room, and and then like after explaining myself like a million times, because I had been mistakenly diagnosed with bipolar in the past. I don't have bipolar, but I had been mistakenly diagnosed with bipolar in the past. So when I came into that hospital, mind you, I've been in that hospital before for like other attempts or self-harm behavior, been admitted to the psych ward, but so they have my records on file. Anyways, yeah, when I got there, they're all like, oh yeah, she's bipolar and whatever, and I was trying to like, I knew I wasn't bipolar, but I didn't know what I was. Like, I knew I wasn't bipolar. I just thought I had, like, depression or whatever. I don't know. But, yeah, so while I'm, like, sitting in, what's it called? This area, well, not area, one of the rooms. Yeah, so while I'm sitting there in, like, my room, whatever, in the emergency department, like getting fluids in me and everything, because like by the time we got to, oh, and something else, I was also hallucinating. I was like hallucinating a lot by the time I got to the hospital. I was like really loopy. It was weird. But anyways, so get to the hospital, explain my situation, wait in the waiting room for like a really short while, and then, you know, all the, if you've ever been through an experience like this, you kind of know what happens. Anyways, I'm gonna skip to the part where I was in the room, one of the rooms, okay, in the emergency department. So I was just laying there, and doctors and nurses, they come in and out of the room, like in and out, in and out, in and out. And finally, the I'm not sure if he was, I'm pretty sure he was a psychiatrist. Yeah, he was one of the psychiatrists in the hospital. And he came to, I guess, like, not evaluate me, but try and get to the root of what happened, why he did it, etc. Because a lot of the doctors and nurses, and they all thought like it was a purposeful suicide attempt, which it was not. But none of the doctors would really believe me. But anyways, this one psychiatrist, he came in. I'm not sure if he's a psychiatrist or psychologist. No, he was a psychologist, actually. Yeah, he was a psychologist. And he came into the room, and my dad was next to me the whole time. He's so sweet. I love him. I love my dad. Anyways, my dad was in the room, next to me, and I'm like laying in one of the beds. The psychologist comes in, and I'm explaining the situation to him, and then he starts asking me like these questions, kind of like of my past, you know like he says like, oh, have you done this type of thing before? And I'm like, yes. And like he looked at my dad to get, like, I guess confirmation, whatever. He looked at my dad, and he's like, does she do this type of thing a lot? And my dad was like, yes. And my dad was like, oh, she gets, well, I get small things set me off really easily. Small things make me cry very easily. I have a hard time controlling my mood. Very, my moods are very extreme. So we were kind of just talking about that, my past history, all the, I guess, trauma factors in my life. And then he gives me this worksheet. Not worksheet, but he gives me this, like, paper. This, like, paper. And it was, like, it's basically a borderline personality disorder, like, symptom list check off thing, And, like, almost all of those questions, like, there were, like, 9 questions, and I answered, like, 7 or 8 of them was like, yeah, that's definitely me. And, like, I could, like, relate to everything on the paper, you know, all the symptoms and whatever, and, like, the criteria and whatever. And I could, like, strongly relate to all of it. And then, I give the paper, after I'm done, like, filling it, I give the paper back to the doctor. And he's like, I think you have borderline personality disorder. And as he was explaining it to me and to my dad, it felt like the first time in my life someone finally understood me. Someone got it. What it felt like. What I felt like. What I feel like all the time. And that was such a happy moment for me. Because for the first time in my life, someone could truly understand what I was going through. I was like, yay, someone finally understands me. Someone gets it. Yeah, so then the doctor is explaining more and more and more about borderline personality disorder. And like, I've heard of it and stuff, but before I was always told that I'm bipolar because my birth mother was bipolar. So the doctors would automatically assume that I'm bipolar too since it's genetic. But yeah, and so it felt great to finally be heard and understood. What else? Yeah, and so doctor recommended this book by, oh man, I don't know where. I have the book here somewhere in my room, but it's, what is it called? Something like to build a better, like something about like to build a better life. I forgot her name, but the author is this woman who created DBT therapy for people with borderline personality disorder. Yeah, and they recommended me the psychologist recommended me that book. So then later, when I got out of the hospital, and luckily, thankfully, I didn't, because like it wasn't a suicide attempt, it was just, you know, my strong emotions getting to me, causing me to do whatever I could to soothe myself in the moment. But anyways, so yeah, when I finally got out of the hospital, uh my dad got the book for me. He ordered the book for me. I haven't read all of it. I'm like two. Anyways, I'm like halfway through almost, but yeah, and that was about a year ago or year and a half ago. So, yeah, that's how I got diagnosed with borderline personality disorder. I didn't want to make this video like super long. No one wants to hear me talk for that long. If I come up with any other video ideas, I'll talk about it. But sidetrack real quick before I cut the video out. I still do have imaginary friends, though I don't talk to them as much as I did before. I still have imaginary friends, like my one friend Stilts. Yeah, my one imaginary friend Stilts. He's still around. Sometimes Vanya comes back. Haven't really heard from Phil or hashtag. Sometimes Joaquin comes around. Oh, and also Dexa and my voice cracked, and Monica. Yeah. But uh right now it's mainly just been Stilts. But anyways, yes. So that's it. So yeah. So this is As Good As You here, and I'm doing As Good As You, signing off. Okay, I'm gonna wait till it gets to 20 minutes and then stop the video. Okay, bye.